A very good afternoon. In the 3 hours that I have been waiting to talk to you, six women aged between 2 to 80 would have been raped in India. 3 young brides would have been burnt in their kitchens. More than 300 female young unborn fetuses would have been smothered, slaughtered in the wombs of their mothers because desire for a female child and the social compulsion pushes the killer parents to the hospitals, to the unscrupulous doctors. This is why, my friends, the law has failed the women of the country. Why? Because these laws were formed, but the implementation was not thought of. Dowry, do you know what dowry is? Please ask your friends from India and they would tell you that it is virtually shopping for a husband. I'm sure with the degree of MBA from SED, if you marry in India, maybe you would get an island in the Caribbean. But think of a small car which a woman doesn't get and is burnt. There is a dowry prohibition law. There is a dowry prohibition act which provides for imprisonment. But what is the issue? Why it has been unable to prevent these killer fires from happening? It should be a murder. But when you go to complain, the police, which is compromised, which is corrupt, classifies this murder as an accidental death. It says death due to kitchen fire. Have you heard of any kitchen fire deaths in your part of the country? Women would not go to the kitchen. But because the police finds the way by converting a murder into accidental death, the husband, the killer husband, and the family goes scot-free. And the law, with all the echelons, falls flat on its face. Friends, I am Abha Singh, a human rights crusader, particularly for women, and I practice law in Bombay High Court. I am here to share the pain, agony, fear that it is to be born of women in India. I am here to tell you the true story. You may be watching on the television, but it is bad when we talk of dowry deaths, when we talk of female feticide, when we talk of so many issues. In fact, when we talk of the Constitution, you talk of the Constitution the founding fathers made. There were evils like dowry, there was sati, that is burning of a young bride at the pyre of her husband. There were so many issues, and the Constitution was basically formed with strong ideals. The fundamental rights were put in, which said equality before law, equal protection of laws. It talked of prohibiting discrimination on grounds of religion, race, or caste. It talked of so many ideals. In fact, right to life. Right to life was enlarged by the Supreme Court to say it also means right to live with dignity so that the women who were suffering in their home could get some succor from the courts. But why did it fail? Why was this Constitution, why was this laws not able to empower women is what I'm here to talk of. If you see the slide, of this chief minister who is there in the country, what does he say? He says if a man gets the qualities of the women, he becomes God. But if a woman or a girl acquires the quality of a man, she becomes demon-like. What are these qualities? Ambition, an MBA degree? It is this regressive mindset, which is responsible for all the ordeals which the women in India are facing, or the social empowerment, the economic empowerment, which we are unable to do. I talked of female feticide. If you see the figures of female feticide, they are glaring. In fact, if you see how many cases were registered, for the last 20 years, 25 million fetuses have been aborted. We call them our missing girls. It makes it 1 million every year. But if you see how many cases have been registered, how many complaints have been registered, my friend, only 2,000. But what takes the cake? Forget the complaints. Even from the 2,000 complaints, 2021 to be precise, the convictions, the cases registered were only 100, and the convictions were only 206. Why is it that a young woman who is deprived of the joys of motherhood, who sees a bundle of joy in dustbins in hospitals, scared to go to the police station to register a complaint of female feticide? She is scared that she will be thrown out of her marital home. She settles for the husband to give up her female child, her female fetus, because the craze for a son, because of the social compulsions, she has to keep quiet. That is the reason. The law was there, the PCPNDT Act, it was formed. It made 3 to 5 years imprisonment. It made, in fact, it said that the license of the doctors, license of the hospitals would be cancelled. But nothing happened because 25 million offences, but only 100 convictions. That means everybody went scot-free. Which again means, if you want to commit a crime, come to India, you would be let off. As it happened in Salman Khan case, which I was being introduced as. 12 years, the police covered up the case. It took 12 years from a lower court to go to a higher court. And he was let off scot-free for killing a person on the pavement, because the court said that you cannot prove beyond doubt that he was driving the car. Even today, we don't know that if Salman was not driving the car, there was a driver who was driving the car, because nobody was punished. But we lost a life. We had a person who lost his leg. But that is how the procedures have hijacked the substantive law in India. Coming back to my main focus, honor killings. Another thing that worries me, scares me, is the spike in honor killings. In fact, there has been an increase of 792% increase in honor killings, and these are not my figures. These are the figures of the government, NCRB figures, and in spite of such an increase, there is no law. The parliamentarians are sitting over it. They have not bothered to make honor killing a specific crime. Who is responsible for the honor killings? It is the societal pressure, the cops. You can see here, for a rape, the punishment given by the cop, that is the village panchayat, is 5 shoe beatings. This is the alternate judicial system in the country. When the Supreme Court has declared the cops illegal, it has declared honor killings, you cannot do it. But the cops continue to flourish because they are the vote bank politics. The local politician knows that he will win his elections if he has the blessings of the cop. And when the cop tells the parents, kill your children, what is their crime? They have fallen in love. They have married out of caste, they have married out of religion. This is honor killing, my friends, and we don't have a specific offense for honor killing even now. It is tried as murder, and that too, the conviction in honor killings is not even 20%, because the parents who kill their children because of societal pressure, they have already killed their children, they don't come and lodge a complaint. And if you raise your voice, you are ostracized. So we talked of dowry, we talked of honor killings. Another thing which worries me as a woman in India is stalking. Stalking may not sound very serious, but stalking is something which has led to acid attacks in the long run. Many a time, a spurned lover, not even a lover, a person who may be infatuated with you, you don't respond to his untoward responses, he would throw acid on you. Your face is disfigured, your life is disfigured, and the government has sat over it. A country like Bangladesh, it declared death penalty in 2002 for acid attacks. But in India, we waited till 2013 to have a special law on acid attack. And that too, we had just a 10-year imprisonment. Bangladesh could control the sale over the counters. In India, it's very easy to buy acid across the counter and just throw. I mean, no accountability at all. The law is there, 10 years imprisonment, but has it been able to stop? No, it has not. Because the implementation is faulty. The corruption of the police is compromised, the implementation is faulty. The law is full of procedures, and procedures, they have so many technical loopholes that the crafty lawyers use the technical loopholes to defeat the justice system. This is why, in spite of lofty ideals of the founding fathers of the Constitution, this is why of strong penal positions of the Indian Penal Code, we have been unable to empower a woman. Stalking has another side effect. Terrified parents stop the girls from going to school. If you study the education figures, you would find that elementary level, there would be 100% enrollment. But the moment a girl reaches puberty, she stops going to school because there would be somebody chasing her, following her, and parents are worried about her security. There are two cases I would like to tell you about, which have been all over the country. One is Asaram case. He is a God man. I would say a so-called God man. I would go even further and say a fraud man. He has a following of 2 million people. But he is behind bars since 2013. He raped 2 women. But what is worrying? That even from jail, he can call the shots. 3 witnesses in this case, 3 witnesses have been murdered. 9 witnesses have received life threats. Who will come and depose in the court? This is the reason there is such a low conviction rate. This is the reason people go scot-free. India does not have anything for witness protection. We don't have anything for victim protection. The victim in this case has gone underground. Asaram case is an example of how the system has destroyed the legal system in the country. Sheena Bora is another case. Sheena Bora, a 23-year-old girl with stars in her eyes. She wanted to live life. But from the prime locality of Bandra in Mumbai, she disappeared one day. Nobody knew where she was for 3 years. Simultaneously, a dead body was found near Mumbai, that is the jungles of Raigad. Police came, did the investigation, made a report, but did not register a case of murder. Why? Because some senior officer from Mumbai rang up the local police station and said, this is a VIP case. The accused are big corporates. They are rich. They are powerful. Do not register the case. Can you think anywhere in the world a murder takes place in a commercial city called Mumbai? The missing complaint of Sheena Bora was not written by 2 police stations because wherever the people went, there were phone calls. Is it not VIP racism? Does it not show that there are 2 sets of laws, one for the rich and one for the poor? The laws for the rich are beneficial to Salman Khan, to all the celebrities who can manage to kill the law. But for the poor man, it is only tariq pe tariq. He struggles for justice. He sells off his land. He sells off his property, but does not get justice because minimum a case in India takes 10 to 15 years. Asaram and Sheena Bora are 2 examples which show that the system has been compromised. Why I quit the job? I was working in the government, which is so coveted that every year, even now, 1 million aspirants take the exam. And only 1,000, the first 1,000, get through the exam. But I left that job, which is called the civil services, because I felt my fundamental freedom of speech and expression was being curtailed. Now, with my newfound freedom, I take up cases of the poor. I take up human rights violations. I lend voice to the innumerable women who have been silenced by the diktats of the society. And in that quest for justice, I have set up this NGO called RannSamar, where not only do I give legal advice to the women, but I empower them. I teach them computers. This is a place in Uttar Pradesh where I run computer classes, I run stitching classes. I try to empower these girls. I try to make them understand law, and I tell them, fight against injustice, fight for your rights. In fact, I'm full of hope, not despair. Seeing you all, I feel maybe tomorrow you would also, from this illustrious institute, take up project studies in India, work for the cause of women of India. In fact, like in National Law School, Bangalore, these are these young interns who have set up an alliance of oversensitive women, who are fighting for gender justice, who are fighting for gender sensitivity. They are teaching their friends, they are teaching their classmates to respect women. And let me tell you, economic empowerment only comes after gender sensitivity. You may be doing MBA, but let me tell you, in India, There is a law that you must have a women director, and 70% of the companies have just got one women director to fulfill that clause. Beyond that, not. And also, companies which have CEOs, women CEOs, they are all hereditary, and they say these are the non-performing directors. So I think equality, when the Constitution provides, will only come when we stand, we fight for our rights. I am trying to be a change maker. I know I cannot change things overnight. As in India, we have been fighting for 33% reservation. Can you see? When the bill for 33% reservation was introduced in the parliament, the poor speaker could not even hold the bill. There were MPs running into the well to tear the bill, to throw the bill. 5 times this women reservation bill has been introduced in the parliament, but it has fallen flat. But still, there is little hope. 33% reservation has been given at the panchayat level. That is the local governing cell at the village. But again, if you see, the lady head of the village has her head covered, and she has to perform. This is the woman who has been given power, but the husband sitting next to her is the sarpanch pati. He calls the shots. These are the men who don't want women to take away importance, power. They don't want to share power. But because that 33% reservation came, they were compelled, and to keep the power in the house, they got their wives elected. But still, something is better than nothing. And maybe if 33% reservation in parliament comes, we would have women who would decide for us. We would have women who will legislate laws. We would have women who would push out the regressive men from the parliament and ensure that there is a law for honor killings. Khaps are banned. When the Supreme Court in a PIL said khaps are illegal, then why they have not been removed till now? Because the police works under the politicians, and the politicians call the shots in the country. I would hold the regressive mindset of the politicians responsible for maximum of the travails of the women in the society. Beyond that, I can go on and on because I am charged. I feel bad when I see a rich and a celebrity like Salman Khan just walking away, tearing the criminal justice system, but a poor man fighting for justice. In a rape case, police ask for money. The cases are weakened, evidences are destroyed, and it is police corruption which destroys the case and poor conviction levels. In rape case, conviction is only 29%. In acid attack cases, it is barely 20%, which means 80% goes scot-free. In feticide, as you said, it's just 10%. The poor conviction rate, my friends, is the why. The corruption in the police is the why, that we have such a brilliant law. We have at the right places the right law, but it is unable to deliver. The criminal justice system is ready for judicial reforms, and if we are not serious about it, let me tell you, we would have missing girls, we would have faceless girls, their faces destroyed by acid. But still, I am full of hope, and I feel that my little bit done towards the women of this country, I would be able to wipe their tears. And I pray and hope that I keep fighting for these girls, and I am trying to make their future bright. Thank you.